Imagine this. You wake up, no weapons, no armor, no army, just your bare hands, a few rocks, and your friends. And standing in front of you, a 9-ton mammoth, 4 meters tall, tusks longer than your entire body, skin so thick a spear barely scratches it. And your job today? Kill it. This wasn't a movie. This wasn't a legend. This was Tuesday for ancient humans, for thousands of years. And here's the question that has baffled scientists for over a century. How? How did tiny humans, with nothing but sticks and stones, take down the biggest animals that ever walked the earth? The answer is one of the most brilliant, most brutal, most fascinating stories in all of human history. Let's go. First, let's understand what ancient humans were up against, because it wasn't just mammoths. The Ice Age was basically a planet full of absolute monsters. The woolly mammoth, 13 feet tall, 9 tons, tusks that could flip a car, fur coat built for Arctic winters. The cave bear, twice the size of a modern grizzly, standing on its hind legs, taller than 2 men. The giant ground sloth, the size of an elephant, claws longer than a human hand, could stand on hind legs and reach into treetops. The saber-toothed cat, canine teeth 7 inches long, built to bring down prey 4 times its size. The Irish elk, antlers spanning 12 feet wide, wider than most living rooms. These animals weren't like anything alive today. And ancient humans, who averaged maybe 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighed around 130 pounds, had to hunt them for food, for fur, for survival. No choice. So what did they actually use? Let's start with the weapons. The most famous ancient hunting weapon, the stone-tipped spear. Ancient humans would spend hours carefully chipping away at flint, obsidian, or chert, shaping it into a razor-sharp point. And these weren't just sharp rocks. Scientists have actually tested these points by firing them into ballistics gel. The results? They behave like a hollow-point bullet. When the tip entered flesh, it expanded the wound cavity dramatically, causing catastrophic internal damage. But here's what scientists discovered that completely changed everything we thought about how humans hunted mammoths. For decades, everyone assumed ancient hunters threw their spears at mammoths. Turns out, that's probably wrong. A 9-ton mammoth has skin so thick that a thrown spear is basically a pinprick. UC Berkeley researchers published a study in 2024 showing that ancient hunters likely used a completely different technique, the pike. They planted their spears in the ground, angled upward, and let the charging mammoth run into the spear. Using the animal's own 9-ton momentum to drive the point deep into its body, the mammoth's own charge killed it. That's not just brave, that's genius. But spears were just the beginning. Ancient hunters also had the atlatl, a wooden spear-throwing device that acted like an extension of the arm. It multiplied throwing force by 3 to 5 times, allowing hunters to launch spears with the power of a small crossbow from distances of 30 to 40 meters, actually pierce mammoth hide at distance. These weren't cavemen throwing rocks. These were engineers, building weapons specifically engineered to kill the biggest animals on the planet. But weapons alone weren't enough, because here's the brutal truth. No single human could kill a mammoth, not even close. Success required something far more powerful than any weapon. It required a plan. Before we continue, quick message for you guys. If you want high-quality videos just like mine, this is your chance. Simply send an email to the address shown above, and I'll help you create powerful, engaging content at a very affordable price. We don't just make videos, we handle everything for you. From viral script writing to professional video editing and eye-catching thumbnails, our team does deep research to make sure your content performs and stands out. If you're serious about growing your channel and saving time, this is the easiest way to get started. Spots are limited, so make sure you email now before it's full. Also, before we continue, hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really helps the channel grow. Now let's get back to the video. Ancient mammoth hunts weren't random attacks. They were coordinated military operations. Scientists now believe groups of 20 to 30 hunters would work together, each with a specific role. Some were drivers, making noise, waving torches, scaring the mammoth and controlling its direction. Some were flankers, running alongside to cut off escape routes. And some were killers, waiting in position with pikes braced, ready for the moment the mammoth ran into their trap. This required communication, coordination, timing. It required language. Some anthropologists actually believe that the need to coordinate mammoth hunts may have been one of the key drivers of the development of complex human language. We may have learned to talk because we needed to plan a hunt, but the most jaw-dropping hunting strategy? The pit trap. In 2019, workers building an airport north of Mexico City found something incredible underground. 2 massive pits, each one 80 feet long and 5 feet deep, dug by hand 15,000 years ago. Inside, the bones of 14 woolly mammoths. Scientists realized these were deliberate traps, hand-dug by ancient hunters, who then drove mammoths into them and slaughtered them. These pits were used for over 500 years. Same location, generation after generation. Ancient humans had a mammoth hunting spot they returned to for centuries. And it wasn't just mammoths. Fossilized footprints at White Sands, New Mexico show ancient humans hunting a giant ground sloth, a creature the size of an elephant, using one of the most sophisticated tactics ever recorded. One group of hunters walked directly in the footsteps of the sloth, stepping in its exact tracks, so the sloth couldn't hear or smell extra feet, stalking it silently, perfectly, while a second group waited ahead, ready to distract the animal. When the sloth turned to face the distraction, the hidden group rushed in for the kill. Two teams, coordinated roles, a plan, written in footprints, 15,000 years ago. But here's the fact that stopped me cold when I first read it. We know ancient humans used fire, but did they use fire to hunt? Evidence strongly suggests yes. Ancient hunters would set strategic fires, creating walls of flame that forced herds of mammoths in specific directions, driving them toward cliffs, toward pits, toward waiting hunters, using fire as a weapon, and after the kill, nothing was wasted, nothing. Mammoth meat fed the entire tribe. Mammoth fat was rendered for fuel and cooking. Mammoth skin became clothing and shelter. Mammoth bones became tools, needles, and weapons. Mammoth tusks became the structural frame for entire houses. Archaeologists found settlements in Ukraine built entirely from mammoth bones, the walls, the roof frame, everything, made from the animals these people hunted. They didn't just eat the mammoth, they lived inside it. These people didn't see themselves as separate from nature. They were completely inside it, using every single part of every single kill to survive the Ice Age. So let's bring this home. Ancient humans had no guns, no metal, no armor, no machines. They had stone, wood, fire, and each other. And with those four things, they took down 9-ton mammoths, giant sloths the size of elephants, cave bears twice the size of grizzlies, saber-toothed cats with 7-inch fangs, not by being stronger, not by being faster, not by being bigger, by being smarter, by planning, communicating, working together, by engineering weapons specifically for each enemy, by thinking 10 steps ahead of animals 10 times their size. And here's the thing that really gets me. The same qualities that let a 130-pound human kill a 9-ton mammoth with a stick are the same qualities that eventually built cities, wrote books, sent rockets to space, planning, cooperation, innovation. We didn't dominate this planet because we were the strongest. We dominated it because we were the only species smart enough to turn our weakness into a weapon. That's not just ancient history. That's who we are. If this blew your mind, subscribe to Ancient Dino. Because every week we go deep into the stories that shaped humanity. Drop a comment. Which hunting strategy shocked you most? The pike, the pit traps, or the hunters walking in the sloth's footsteps? See you in the next one.